Hello students, once again welcome to English Literature Classroom. Today my topic is The Darkling Thirst by Thomas Hardy. This poem is for class 12. Now students of class 12, take out the book Reverie, a collection of ISC poems. Now let me start the poem The Darkling Thirst. First of all, I want to tell you the meaning of the darkling thrush. Darkling means something which is hidden, and thrush is a name of a bird with brown back. Okay, a bird with brown back and brown spots on its chest. Now, first tell me something about the poet. The Darkling Thirst by Thomas Hardy. I am going to tell you about the poet Thomas Hardy. Thomas Hardy is one of the most reputed English writers. His reputation as a novelist far exceeds as a poet. His rural background, his love of music, and his apprenticeships as an architect influenced his subject matter and forms in his writing. Now, let me tell you something about the poem. Then I will tell you line to line explanation. Darkling Thrush is one of Hardy's best poems. The poet imagines that the 19th century has just died. Okay? What does the poet imagine? The poet imagines that the 19th century has just died and that dead body will be buried in the canopy formed by the cloud above. Sounds of the wind seems to lament its death. Okay, the wind is lamenting its death. Whole wintry scene depicted by the poem is desolate and dreary. The poet looking at the scene feels gloomy. The poet is sad to see the scene. Suddenly, Thrush's joyful songs breaks the heaviness and desolation all around. Nothing around the poet shows any sign of joy or peace. The poet wonders what has made the thrush happy. Okay, look, the poet wonders what has made the thrush happy. He feels that the bird is perhaps aware of some blessing to come, of which he himself knows nothing. Now, the contrast between opposite feeling, that is, feeling of sadness and happiness, is beautifully worked out through striking images. Okay, there are two things. One is sadness and one is happiness. The poet is sad and all of a sudden the song of thrush is a happy song. So this contrast is beautifully struck out through images. Now let's start line to line explanation. Now what does the poet want to tell? Look. I leant upon a coppice gate. Coppice gate is a wooden gate. When frost was spectre grey symbolizes something dull. Okay, and winter drugs made desolate, and due to winter drugs made desolate, and due to winter everything is desolate. Okay, the weakening eye of day. Weakening eye of day means the day is going to end. The tangled vines streamed across the sky like strings of broken lyres. Lyre is a musical instrument. All mankind that haunted nigh had sought their household fires. Now the poem describes an intense cold day which is fast dying. Okay, the poet is telling about the cold day which is fast dying. Speaker who seems to be a loner. Speaker is all alone. Okay, he's a loner. Stands supported against a wooden gate. Stands supported against a wooden gate, watching the scene carefully. Winter is drawing to its close. The light of the sun is waning fast. Okay, the light of the sun is waning fast. The thick tangled stem of the climb plants seems to be broken lyre. Again, I am telling this line. The thick tangled stems of the climb plants seems to be broken lyre. It is in fact the most hopeless scene. Okay, the poet is telling the scene is very hopeless. When forced by coldness and darkness, all human beings have retired to their homes to sit by the fireside to warm themselves. Look, no one is outside. All human beings, because of so cold, they have retired to their homes and they're sitting by the fireside, household fire, because of extreme cold. And look, these two lines, the poet has compared the stems. Okay, the poet has compared the stems of a climbing plant with a lyre. Okay, lyre means musical instrument. Now let's come to the second stanza. The landscape features seems to be the century's crops outlist. Look what the poet is telling. The poet is telling that the 19th century had come to close. The sharp feature of the land seemed to be the century's dead body. Okay, the land is the century's dead body and which is laid out for burial. The speaker feels that the cloud would serve as a tomb for the dead body. What does the speaker feel? The cloud would serve as a tomb for the dead body. And the wind, I am telling wind, it's a lament. Okay, the wind is lamenting the death lament. The speaker feels that the cloud would serve as a tomb for the dead body. Then he feels that owing to extreme cold, even the birth rate has slowed down considerably. Okay, even due to the extreme cold, what has happened? The birth rate has slowed down considerably. Every living creature, includes the speaker, is devoid of just and enthew. Okay, no one is having just, no one is having enthew because of extreme cold. Only up to this much. First two paragraphs I have explained today. In my next video, I am going to explain the next two paragraphs. Until then, goodbye.